everybody and welcome back to my channel. So a few weeks ago I uploaded a video about my Holland Hall experience at the University of Exeter. So I had a few comments and personal messages asking me to do a video on all the Exeter University halls and what the kind of general stereotype is and what I've heard about it and things like that. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. But obviously take everything I say with a pinch of salt because everybody's university hall experience is totally different. What I'm going to say is just what friends have told me about their experience or what that hall is generally known for. Okay, so I'm going to start off with Lafrowda. I think Lafrowda is probably the most popular choice of halls in the University of Exeter. It is self-catering. It's absolutely huge, there's so many blocks of them, and I know that it is very oversubscribed. What people tend to really love about Lafrowda is that it's got a really great location. It's about 5 minutes away from the Forum. And in the Forum you obviously have the library, you have shops, you have Costa, you have Pret, you have all your lectures and things like that. Lafrowda is also really close to the business school, so that's really good if you're doing like businessy modules and things like that, because you're literally like 1 minute away from it. It's also right next to a university club which is called the Lemmy, so that's really good in first year because everybody just goes to a Lemmy every Saturday. Yeah, it's so good for that because you're literally a few seconds away. So everybody tends to do pre-drinks at Lafrowda and then go off to the Lemmy, and it's so convenient for that. And Lafrowda is kind of known for being very loud, very party-ish. During Freshers Week they're really crazy. They have like house parties every single night, which obviously suits a lot of people, especially in first year. But I would say the guys there are kind of known for being very laddie. But I guess you get that in quite a lot of halls anyway. Most people tend to really love Lafrowda, but I have heard of some people finding it a bit too loud or a bit too partyish and laddie for them. I know so many more people who have absolutely loved it. The accommodation itself is also really nice. They have huge kitchens with loads of really good facilities in it, and also a kind of sitting room area in it. All the rooms have en-suites and they're so nice. It's kind of a really fun atmosphere, like people kind of go up to other floors and join them for parties and things like that. So I'd say Lafrowda is really good if you want to go out a lot, but obviously it does quieten down a lot as the year goes on. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about Birks. Birks is the complete opposite side to Lafrowda. So say the Forum's here, and then Lafrowda's this side, and then Birks would be all the way over there. So it's complete other side to Lafrowda. I'd say it's about 10 minutes away from the Forum, so a bit further away. Birks has both self-catered halls and catered halls. I think people who are at Birks tend to make really good friendships. That's what I've heard anyway. Nearly everyone I've met from Birks have been really nice, to be honest. And they do tend to be quite close-knit and have lots of good parties as well. The only bad things I can think about Birks is that they do have Cardiac Hill. Cardiac Hill is infamous in Exeter because it's a really steep hill. It's kind of just before you get to Holland Hall. And everyone at Birks kind of complains about how steep the hill is, and it is a bit of a killer. And I guess people do kind of think of Birks as being quite far away, but apart from that, Birks is known for being really nice. So yeah, I think that's Birks summed up. Next up is Moberley. The only thing I think about Moberley is that it's known for looking like a prison. Apparently it's what J.K. Rowling based Azkaban on, because apparently it just looks completely like a prison, and yeah, from the outside, and I think even on the inside, it's not very nice. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about Mardon. Mardon kind of reminds me of a big boarding school kind of house. It is very much like a boarding school because like most of the rooms are shared, so that's one thing to bear in mind, and that's why I didn't put it as my first choice, is that nearly all the rooms there's about 2 people in it. You can be lucky and get a single room, but that is quite unusual. There aren't that many single rooms. And I think it's a bit hit and miss. Like some people are really happy with the people they're put with in their room, but then some people are not so happy. So yeah, it's 50-50. But aside from that, people tend to really love Mardon. And it's kind of like a really big family atmosphere. And you get the really good food from Holland Hall. So it's good from that aspect. It's really nice because they have formals, I think every Friday or once a month or something. And they're really nice because people dress up and they have a little social inside their big house and then they go out. So it's a really nice atmosphere there. People tend to make really nice friends, and it's also a really good location because it's right next to Holland Hall, so they're also about 5 minutes away from the Forum or less. It's a really good location. I'd say Mardon is also the most beautiful University of Exeter halls, especially from the outside. It's really old. I think it's the oldest out of the Exeter halls. You also have the tennis courts in front, which are really nice. The facilities aren't quite as good as other halls though. Like, you do have quite a lot of people having to share the showers and things like that. But aside from those points, I'd say that Mardon is a really nice hall to go to, and people tend to be really happy there. I was going to talk about Holland Hall, but I've basically talked about it all in my Holland Hall video, so I'll leave a link to it in the description, and definitely check that out because I've spoken about it in way more detail. But the overall stereotype is that it is known for being really posh, so you will kind of go around with that stereotype. But then again, it has got the best facilities, definitely. You have the best view, I think. You have really great food and a lovely ensuite, and it is the only halls with a double bed and an ensuite, so it's great from that point of view. So yeah, definitely check out my other video where I go more into depth on it. Clydesdale and Nashgrove are really close to each other, and they're also really close to the Forum, about like 7 minutes, I'd say, 5 to 7 minutes. They tend to make really good friends in their halls. The kitchens are definitely not as big as like Lafrowda or somewhere like that. It's definitely more like proper studenty accommodation. It's got everything you need and it's nice, and people tend to be really nice there. Duryard, I think that's how you say it. I think that's just basically known for being really far away. Yeah, it is known for just being right on the other side of campus and being a bit of a trek to get to. Okay, then there's accommodation like Row House and St Germans. So they're really close to Lafrowda, but the accommodation isn't quite as nice. It is older because Lafrowda was made fairly recently. Well, that's new Lafrowda. There's also old Lafrowda, which is not as nice, definitely not as nice. But I'd say Row House and St Germans have a really good location, but they are known for being very small. You can have a really nice flat and get on really well and have a great time. But then I also know people who just didn't get on with the people in their flat, and because it's so small, it's difficult to meet other people. So yeah, it can be good, it cannot be good, but at least it's got a really good location. It's also got a very kind of just normal studenty kind of halls, fairly similar to like Nashgrove and Clydesdale. Nothing really fancy, but it does the job and it's nice enough. Talking about old Lafrowda, so there's new Lafrowda which was built fairly recently, and then there's old Lafrowda which was built like 20 years ago. It's really, really old. And that's kind of known for kind of falling apart and being a bit worse for wear. But then I think the people there are quite happy, so. There's also accommodation like James Owen Court, Rowan Croft, and they're known for basically being really far out, so they're not on the campus at all, and they're much closer to the city centre. I think they're probably better if you're on St Luke's campus or something like that, because they are known for being really far away, and it will take you around 30 minutes or so to get to campus, which can be annoying in your first year. But then again, some of the people I've met who go there made really good friends there, so the distance might be okay with you. There's also Penny C and Lopes halls. They're both catered, I think. And Penny C for sure is known for being just like Holland Hall, but without the stereotype basically. It's very, very similar, except I don't think they have a double bed, and obviously they don't have the view and things like that. And they're on the Lafrowda side of campus. But yeah, I'd say the actual people tend to be very similar to the Holland Hall type, but they're just in Penny C. You also get a few people who are in studios. To be honest, these tend to be people who had put Exeter as their second choice and then had to come. They are really, really nice, and the accommodation is really, really good, but I definitely don't think it's as good for the social side. Like, it is a lot more difficult to make friends and you have to make a real effort, I think. So yeah, I definitely choose catered or self-catered halls over that. That's basically an overview of all the main Exeter halls I can think of. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below. And definitely subscribe to my channel, I'd be so happy if you did. Also, thumbs up the video if you did like it. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye for now.